Boom, we are pre-recorded today, ladies and gentlemen, and already with just an 8% move in Bitcoin price, we already see the Moon and Lambo kids come out to play. It takes less than 24 hours of a few percent price increase for everyone to think that the bull market has reinstated itself and changed when, I'm sorry, I wish that was the case, and I'm looking forward to when we do enter a bull market again. I have not seen confirmations of that yet, and even though there are little spikes above the Ichimoku cloud and those fun little indicators that we are headed in a positive direction, at least for the short term, the longer, or at least the intermediate term for me here for all of these tokens is still in a bear market, although we do keep a close eye on it, and there are some indicators that we have found a nice little area of consolidation. We've always thought that around the $3,200 to $3,500 mark was the middle ground, with the lower areas of around $2,500 to $1,200 to $1,600 punching in a little later. Now, seeing as we haven't had that yet, everyone comes out and says, oh my God, you were wrong, we're not going lower. Well, time hasn't played out yet, and I like to be a little more patient. It just makes a lot of sense. So we're really excited. Let's dive into the charts. We'll let you guys know what's going on. We're currently working on the vlogs where we visited the turtles. One of my old business partners is coming on for an interview tomorrow night. We're going to go over some ways to make passive income. They've done really well. They do a few $1 million in traffic every year, and so I'm really excited to have them share their story. But let's take a look at Bitcoin first off. We see something really nice here. On the daily chart, we actually broke out past the 50-day moving average and are on our way potentially to hit the 100-day moving average. This would be fantastic to see. Again, it would be another break just around the $4,200 mark, although we have even more resistance now there with that exponential moving average coming in. So I'd always said the last 2 weeks that these moving averages were possibilities. Now, if we look at Ethereum, we had drawn this red line here about a week ago, and we came up and we touched it. We broke actually right out past the 100-day exponential moving average just a little bit, touched the top of this line. And the reason I came up with this $150 mark again was this gap in the volume profile fill. Now, again, I do suspect that these are complex, essentially corrective waves in the Elliott impulse cycle. So Elliott, where is our correction? Well, we'll go with the corrective wave here for ABC, like this, ABC. I do suspect we'll have further corrective waves following this pattern, although we are currently in a nice mixed bag of ideas. So here, if you look at the RSI over the last few months, we had been steadily declining, and then we actually just broke through that. So Ethereum has a positive bullish sentiment, which is nice. Again, for the short term, at least to the that we've got to this 100-day exponential moving average on Ethereum is positive for the nature of what we're looking at. Now we get to see what happens. And this is the fun thing. I never play too heavily into any direction for this particular reason. I'm always watching, waiting, and learning during that process. This is the same reason why we stagger our buys and sells in and out. It just makes for a calmer demeanor. I'm not chasing anything here. I think a lot of people get way too excited about making money quickly, although that's possible. Again, with my old business partner coming online, we had $50,000 months together quite quickly, following other business plans. So even though I love the blockchain and Bitcoin space because I'm severely invested in the philosophical outcomes of empowering individuals around the world and decentralizing that power and the money and the governance systems, I myself am not implicitly looking at this space just to make money. I'm invested in this space because it adds to my portfolio value, whether it's assets like real estate, gold, or silver. Crypto is one of the speculative assets that I like to keep in my portfolio because it is the most entertaining philosophically. Again, owning property is really unique because I can grow ayahuasca right outside or any of the plants that I love, and I have my own private well. That is another philosophical investment for myself, and it is the reason I like to keep these investments. So moving on, we'll take a quick look at Litecoin too. We thought we might bump up to this area. We had drawn our lines previously, actually a little bit higher than that. We drew as high as $52 here just to fill this volume profile. So we still suspect we might actually see a little bit more of a breakout from Litecoin. But all of this is actually a really beautiful positive sentiment and indicator. I think it just reminds us that even though these markets are volatile, that volatility can play into our hands if we're patient. I myself am more patient. I remember buying Litecoin down here between the $5 and the $15 mark before seeing it go all the way to a 300, and then selling most of everything that I had around the $200 area. I missed the top spike, but either way, got out kind of close to the top, and that's the best we can do. Now, I'm not going to rush my way into entering a position after we see this massive market exuberance. I'm going to be more patient because in the long-term scheme of things, let's see if we can get another Litecoin chart that has a bit more data here. USD. I wonder if that will give us what we want. Oh, this is Litecoin to USD, LTC to BTC. Here we go. XBTC on Kraken. I wonder how much data that gives us. Does it give us back to 2014? That would be nice. It does. It gives us back to 2017. Okay. So either way, here we go. This is in August 2016. As you can see, we dropped super low as Bitcoin was originally starting to rise. We saw these nice big spikes. And as you can see, Litecoin's volatility here many times plays into your positive hand. But it's very volatile to the downside too. And again, we have a multiple year trend line, bottoms and support resistance. You can even see it in the volume profile here with a big gap, which is quite a nice thing. If we actually break through this area, this could be very positive for Litecoin, although I'm still not very bullish, especially since you see that on the RSI feed on the daily, we have actually broken to the oversold side. But again, this is why we keep a close eye on this on somewhat of a daily basis, is because for us, the most important thing that we can do here is educate ourselves and learn. Again, what I'm trying to do now is at least share my passion for owning assets that I'm philosophically invested in, because then I can hold them for a lot longer. Again, I've held Bitcoin since $90. So this is not a new game for me. I'm not impatient looking for a bottom or hoping that it's going to go lower. I have a fairly positive hypothesis in my mind that says we're going to go lower, so I'm patient. Even if it goes higher, it's not that big of a difference. 20, 30%, we see that happen all the time in these markets, and I'm not particularly concerned. We're going to see a longer term of consolidation here, and one of the reasons why I believe that is also true is because of the volatility that we see in markets like the S&P 500. Again, the S&P 500 had been trending towards the top of the B wave, which we had previously placed. We thought it wouldn't make it too much above 270. Here we are sitting at 277. Now, this is a really interesting case in design because we don't know what's going to happen. Technical analysis doesn't let you know what's going to happen. It gives you a probability of outcome and often choices. The opportunity to make choices, if not this, then this, if this, then possibly this. And these different sentiments by design essentially help us kind of allude to what we think might be coming next. So the positive sentiments in the overall markets have actually been leading positively into the rest of the Bitcoin markets because people feel comfortable. As soon as these markets in the global sense start to break down, that is extremely negative. That will hurt everybody. Now, a big part of the question is if we do break out again past this mark and continue to go higher, what's the degradation on the value of the dollar? Again, that's more intrinsically related to Bitcoin price movement, in my mind, than in comparison with something like the stock market. The Bitcoin was not designed to replace the stock market. It's designed to replace the fiat money system, again, which would bring us into the DXY chart or the standard charting of the US dollar. And again, the dollar has actually been gaining momentum over the last little while, and we're actually looking for a higher circle here, somewhere around this point, around the 100 mark for the dollar. Now, that would likely be under the pressure of a falling stock market. So the question comes down to, if the dollar starts to fall, does the stock market continue to rise? Or if the dollar starts to rise, does the stock market continue to fall? Now, these are very interesting questions that we do not know the answer to, but we are hoping that with time, as we pay attention and grow, that we can learn what's happening. Again, the US dollar has been a long-term downward trend with lower highs and lower lows over the last 20 to 40 years. So it's extremely important that we keep an eye on everything. Anyways, this is Tio the Arcane Bear. I'm not super excited, but I am always excited about the blockchain and Bitcoin space, not because of the price movements, but very, very specifically because of the reason why I invested in this space. I hope and pray that it has the possibility to empower others. Again, what we're seeing here with Ethereum, this nice little bounce from 100 to 140 bucks. There's a 36% movement in the last 2 weeks alone. This is fantastic for traders that are interested in short-term swing trades. And even though I'm not choosing to do that at this particular moment, I do see that as we get more, as I feel more confident that we've reached the bottom, which has not happened in my mind yet, then I will start to play these swing trades because I'll feel more positive about the long-term, or at least the intermediate directions of my bets. I still hold the initial amount of Bitcoin that I bought because at $90, it doesn't make a difference to me. There's no loss, there's no gain. It's just sitting. Everything else that I had in profits, I took out. Again, I'm managing and building multiple other businesses. I did start up my SEO company again, which is already making a few $100s a month and should be into the thousands of dollars a month again. I'm doing that as a case study to show you guys that there are other ways to own assets in your portfolio that are valuable. This is a consistent return of investment for me on these assets. I put a few $1,000s in, I get a few $1,000s out every month. I love this type of building. I think that the smartest thing to do is own 5 or 6 of those. So if I have a ginger tonic company that's making $3,000 a month and 2 or 3 websites that are making $10,000 a month over here, I've got my property that I can rent out while I'm gone. And the Arcane Bear makes money from the YouTube advertisements. This consistent multiple sources of revenue and generation is the most important factor of any business model, unless you happen to be have a business model that you can bank out of the park into the billions of dollars range, which is entirely possible. The ginger tonic company could end up worth like $50 million. Who knows? But it's a slow growth process, and I'm invested in learning myself. So I do all the things I love to do. I own multiple companies, and I own multiple real estate investments in assets, and I consider owning real estate on the internet an investment as an asset. And these are the Tio with the Arcane Bear. We're excited for the interview tomorrow with our old business partner. Again, he went from being an electrical engineer to quitting that job to making millions from doing what we do in terms of this real estate investment online. So very excited to share that with you guys tomorrow. He's a fantastic individual and one of my longtime friends. So it'll be the first time I have a longtime friend on the podcast. Give us those thumbs up, 2019 style, if you enjoy this content. Smash that subscribe button, hit that little bell, that way anytime we produce videos, you guys will be notified. If you have not done so yet, please join the Telegram channel in the links below. Leave your thoughts, your comments, positive, negative. Are you bullish? Are you Lamboing? Are you mooning? I don't really think we're there yet, but if you want to play that way, you can do whatever you would like. We are here for the long term, and we are going to continue staying here for the long term. This is Tio with the Arcane Bear. We are signing off for the rest of the afternoon, and we hope you have yourselves a wonderful morning, evening, day, sleep, wherever you happen to be in the world. We'll see you guys on the other side.